What's up? It's Sofia Gutierrez with Arena Football One, and today I am joined by the one and only Albany Firebirds, Darien Townsend. Darien, how you doing?
Hey, appreciate you having me. And shout out to all those Firebirds out there watching.
Yeah, I know they're tuned in. Your guys' fan base is truly one of a kind.
They're nuts. They're nuts. We actually got some fan pickup bags tonight, so they're pretty hyped up this Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this game all night tonight.
Yeah, and I know even before there's a new player on the team, they're welcoming, whether it's, gift
Yeah,
baskets or providing supplies. How is it? Because I know
yeah,
you've been with the Firebirds for 2 years now, but talk to me
yeah.
about that initial welcome.
Oh, I mean it's nuts. I mean, Sean Brown just came in. What was it, 2 weeks ago, and they had me taking two or three bags home with me for him, and I'm like, dang, he just got here, like, so I'm looking all in his bag, seeing what I can steal out of there, but it's great, because it just gives us time to, you know, um, really get in tune with the fans and show them ourselves outside of football. Like we went to Scoops, which is one of the owners of the Firebirds establishment. It's an ice cream establishment, but we all had ice cream there and we were kicking it with the fans. So it brings us together, us and the fans.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very important part of the game.
Sure.
From, 100-yard football to 50-yard football, a big difference is also the
Yeah.
fan interactions live, as well as the wall. How was it getting acclimated to that?
Oh, it's different, especially your first year you come in and everybody's like the wall's undefeated and you don't know what that means, but catching, a deep post route or a corner route and you bang into that thing, you feel it. So it's weird to get adjusted to, but once I have a different mental about it. I'm trying to go up over walls and do crazy things. So once you just you get it out of your mind and you take those couple hits, it's a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah, and jumping over the walls, you have the fans right there.
Yeah.
How does that fuel you during the game?
Always different. I mean, when you're on defense, you're trying to throw somebody on the popcorn. You know what I mean? You're trying to throw somebody up over the wall or something. But on offense, it's just you get some fans talking crap to the defensive backs, and they're telling them, you can't watch them, you can't do this. So we got the ninth element, which is the fans. We got our ninth player out there. They're talking crap. So it's just a different environment, and that's what I love. Even after the game, we get to talk to the fans and they get to come down and interact with us, so it's just a whole different game.
Yeah, now let's backtrack a bit.
Yeah,
Um, you're not from Albany, although right now I know it is home for you during the
for sure.
season. You're from Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah,
Now, where did you initially get your interest in football? Where did that start?
sure. um that's a good question. My family is super into it, my father and my brothers. So I have two older brothers, so I wanted to do everything they did. So when they got into football, I was right there behind them. And there's a picture of me when I was like 2 or 3 years old just holding a football. So ever since I can remember, I'm watching classic football and Walter Payton and guys with one face mask bar and just craziness. So I love the game, from a very young age, probably since I can remember.
Now, in high school, you not only played football, but you also dabbled into basketball
Yeah,
and track. How did you see what you did in those two sports translate onto the football field?
for sure. If you ask my pops, it would be that I would hit kids when I was in the YMCA. It'll be a joke if you ask him that question. I was in the YMCA league when I was like 7, and I couldn't get my mind off of football. So I actually hit a kid, and he ended up under the bench. So he's under the bench crying, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm 7 years old, but but that's one way I took football to those other sports. But no, in all seriousness, the just the relentlessness. Like I probably wasn't the best hooper, but as far as like, being able to get transition baskets because I'm getting steals in basketball, being able to finish in track. Just I just didn't want anybody beating me. You know what I'm saying? So the competitor just always rose to the occasion, no matter what sport for me. So I was just always interested in sports. Even when I'm playing my girlfriend, she's laying over there right now. When I'm playing her in tennis, we're going at it, and I'm trying to beat her butt. So, just a competitor. Football brought that out.
That's awesome. Tennis is a really fun sport to play.
It's different. It's different. I'm getting a love and appreciation for. I can't even serve. I try to overhand serve. It's like, nah, all right, I'm gonna leave that to those guys. But she beats my butt. But I'm gonna get on her tail soon.
Shout out to your girlfriend for helping you get that cardio in
For
because
sure.
it's always fun being out there and it's competitive.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Getting a good tan and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how was that transition from playing high school ball to playing college ball?
Just really so much with what's really wanted of you and what's expected of you. You're expected to really love the sport and be dedicated to the sport. Like nobody's chasing you around, So, obviously, you have people in college, that are going to make sure you're there. The weight coaches, your position coaches, things like that. But in high school, your parents were on your tail, things like that. In college, they're not going to be on your tail. You're going to be late 2 times, and they might pull your scholarship. Things like that. So you got to be dedicated, and I mean, you really got to want it. I've had guys that started college seasons in like 2 days into camp. You're like, where's this dude? And they're like, he went home. So it's like you got to really love the game and appreciate it once you get to these higher levels. It's real different.
Yeah, and once you're at that collegiate level, it's a lot more competitive, but you're not only an athlete, you're a student athlete. So
True.
school is just as important. So if you're not
Real.
making grades, you're out.
Yes, yes, and that's a big thing about it too. I mean, them just coming and checking your classes and make sure you're in the first couple rows. They peek their head and you're like, yeah, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But days you're not. You got that the punishment. We used to have the stairmaster. We used to have to do 150 floors.
Oh.
So, yeah, right, right. So yeah, you just had a different appreciation at these higher levels.
Did you have any coach or any mentor while you were in college that kind of helped you and guide you while you were there?
Ooh, that's crazy. I had a couple, but one that stuck out is probably I'll shout out my dude, Coach Chris. He's at Virginia Tech now, doing some behind the scenes things. But me and him just connected differently, just not even on a football level, but just as underdogs. Really having to him having to navigate through the coaching world, me having to navigate through being. I was a little slower in college as far as like speed. I ran like a 4.5, high 4.5, 4.6 really. But I tried to talk it up, but so we just connected on a level where we both just had to be gritty and things like that. So he taught me a lot, not even about the game, but just things like that. And then my pops always, I'm gonna shout him out on any level. Just being there, making sure that I'm in line with everything, but also just showing me his grit too. So that's the reason that a lot of times I'm like, all right, I'll push through this tiredness, I'll push through whatever, because him and my mother.
Mhm. Now, something that I read was while you were at Youngstown State, you were the primary punt returner for the
Yeah.
Penguins, returning 25 points for 297 yards, which is the highest at the university's history. When you heard about that, what emotions were running through you?
It's just sorry, excitement. I mean, joy, especially because I love receiver, but a lot of people don't know I played I played running back before. So that's my first love. But punt return is my thing. Like if I get back on the outdoor game, like I love receiver, but you ain't even gotta put me at receiver. Just put me at punt return. If you're hip to Cavante Turpin, you probably are because he came from the arena stuff. He plays for Dallas, but he's a lot of their just he does a lot of just stuff. So he does a lot of just especially at a university like Youngstown State. I mean, it feels good, and in my hometown.
Mhm. Now, after Youngstown State, you were at Marian University, where you said that you didn't play
Yep.
ball there, but you were focused on your education, where you pursued communications and marketing, and coaching was something that you wanted to do. Now, I
Yeah.
read online that you are a mentor, a coach, and you are definitely an inspiration to the next generation of athletes from your hometown. What are some things that you like to do while you are back home with that younger generation?
Well, I mean, that's one thing right there. I love to coach, do some training, but just, inspire the youth in general. But in a city like that, it's needed, for good coaches and good mentors. So anytime I get to, pour back into the youth, I do. Even with Sam's son when he has him at practice and things like that. But I like to mentor. I like to travel. Um, I love traveling, just seeing different places. I'll get out on the water and do crazy stuff. Probably my mom wouldn't like to see me do cliff jump and things like that. Um, but just I'm an adventurous dude, so I like to get out on a daily, and just if I'm not doing that, I'm probably sitting around watching a movie. So it's the extremes on both sides.
Yeah, I did see that you were into nature, but I also saw that you
Yeah,
were someone who's into fashion.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I love fashion. Since a kid. I don't know shoes, clothes, whatever. I'm into it. I'm into. I was actually when I was in high school, I was thinking I was gonna design women's dresses and stuff, but then I seen what designers were actually doing, and I'm like, oh, I can't compete with that. But yeah, I'm into all type of fashion. So it's just the way you can express yourself through it. And the way people do some crazy things now to express themselves, and it comes out looking amazing. So yeah, fashion is something that I definitely follow.
Yeah, we might have to swap that Yankee hat though for a Dodgers hat, but hey.
Oh man, you know what the way Otani plays, I'll shout out those Dodgers right now.
Yeah, those are my guys. Not to be biased because I'm born and raised in LA, but I
Yeah,
love my boys in blue.
yeah, they
I
are
will
good.
say though, I do have a Yankees hat because I've said this since I was little that they're my second team just because I had
You
family
have to.
members who rooted for them, and they just have such a rich history, so
Yeah, they're
I'll let it.
OG. They're OG.
That's for sure. Now, you have a big game coming up this Saturday.
Yeah.
How do you remain calm knowing that it's such a big day? What do you like to do during the week?
Really, I'm over here trying different foods. I forgot to say that I'm into food, so that keeps me calm. If I need to depress eat, or if I need to just, chill and eat, that keeps me calm. We're just getting a workout. I make sure, to stay in my routine, to stay on the right protocol to make sure when game day comes, I'm not like, okay, this feels weak, or that feels weak. Making sure I watch film and all that stuff, but just just being loose. I mean, last year we came to this position, and we came up short, so I already felt that side of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really too concerned with feeling that again. I believe and I trust in my boys fully, but we're just enjoying the week right now, making sure that when we get to Saturday we handle business. But we're treating it like any other week. We're letting our fans hype us up and whatnot. Right now, they're setting up the dang block party and whatnot. So we're letting them do all the hype stuff. We're just trying to stay, on schedule and stay focused.
Yeah, now being a foodie, what do you like to eat before a big game?
Before a big game, now I'm not going too crazy. Before a big, I throw the little veggies in there, some queso with the chips, something like that. But like as far as today, like the different foodie things, I think she's still with me. Um, the different foodie things that I've like our pizza spots and crazy different New York things, subs and crazy stuff.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I know you have a big weekend ahead, and I will definitely be tuned in. So thank you, Darian. We will chat later on.